Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Kefa's Solar Matters, and today I just want to show you the 5 most common failures or issues that people do experience with the solar systems or solar installations. This could be installation in your home, it could be an installation in your premise or business or industry or wherever. And considering the amount of investment that people do put to install some of these systems, I think it is very frustrating and disappointing at some time to have some of this downtime or total shutdown whereby the system is not able to work for you, because what people are looking for is when they install solar would be reliable, solar would be able to be cheaper, and they would be able to reap the benefits. So follow me along as I show you some of the most common failures. And of course, I would also go ahead and show you how you can troubleshoot them or be able to fix them without necessarily being technical or calling the technician. Okay. So at number 1, the first issue that I want to address is what we call wiring disconnections. This is a disconnection of the cables or the wires that have been used in the system. It could be the cables connecting the various components of the solar, or it could be in the house wiring, some cable has pulled out. And whenever this happens, what happens is that you will have a condition known as an open circuit. And whenever there is an open circuit, it means power is not flowing to the system. And therefore your system will not be able to work as expected. So when this happens, what should you do? If this happens, you should just follow through the wiring, the cabling, the way it has been done, and especially at the terminations where some of these cables have been connected to other components. It could be they're pulled out. So at number 2, guys, is what we call shading, or having dirt on the surface of the solar panel. Now this happens many times, and whenever this happens, people rarely realize. What you would realize happening is that your system will not be able to perform as normal or as expected, simply because you are having some shadow or something that is covering the solar panel. The solar panel, the way it works, if the surface is covered by some shadow or some dirt, it could be a lot of dust, it could be some excrement of birds that are perching on the solar panel. Now this would cover the surface to an extent that it is not able to receive maximum sunlight as expected. Remember, it is the sunlight that is being converted into electricity. So when the surface of the solar panel is covered, it will not be able to deliver power or generate power as normal. So what should you do when this happens? Pretty simple. Simply look at the solar panel, check if there's some objects that are focusing some shadow on the surface of the solar panel, or if there's some dirt on the solar panel, or if there's some birds excrement on the solar panel. Consider washing the solar panel with a lot of water, and therefore once the surface is clean, there is no object, there is no shadow on the panel would be able now to generate power as expected and work normally. Okay. At number 3, guys, is something that we call system overload or inverter overload. Now this happens also quite a number of times, and this happens when people try to connect into the system or plug into the system some appliances that are not necessarily considered or were not considered in the design of the system. In other words, you are trying to put more load into the system, more than the system is able to accommodate. Take, for example, you have an inverter that is 300 watts, and then you are plugging in something like the iron box. The iron box is approximately, most of them are in the tune of 1000 watts to 1200. Now when you connect or plug in an appliance like that, that would basically shut down the system. It would shut down the inverter. And depending on the type of inverter you are working with, in this case, some inverter would monitor for some time or keep checking. If the load is removed, they would resume normal operation. But some inverter you might have to reset manually to be able to resume normal normal operation. While some inverter, overloading the system might as well burn out the inverter or some fuses burning out. And to fix that, you might have to replace some of those fuses. Okay, so at number 4, guys, is what we call the low voltage disconnect. Now, what is low voltage disconnect? Now, this is a condition that happens when you have drained the battery more than the allowable threshold or more than the allowable depth of discharge. So normally, the way batteries are designed and the way controllers work with the battery, the controllers are supposed to allow you to discharge from the battery up to some point. But you find in some cases, based on your application, you might as well have drained the battery beyond that threshold. So when that happens, the controller would simply shut out any output. So if it is in your house, you'd realize you don't have power. You'd realize that nothing is working. And you'd realize that even if, let's say, this, the system is getting the sun and you expect it to resume, it wouldn't be able to resume immediately. So whenever this happens, what you need to understand is that you need to give the system some time to be able to charge again to some threshold, the threshold after which it will now be able to deliver power. So most of the controllers I've seen, they would shut down the output side and allow the system to charge the batteries up to some voltage. If it is like a 12 volt system, probably it would want to allow the battery to charge up to 12.6 to be able now to begin working as expected. So when that happens, you probably want to give your system some time, probably shut down the loads and just give it some time to be able to charge, and therefore and thereafter work normally. Okay, so at number 5, guys, and before I get to number 5, please consider subscribing to this channel and consider also liking the video if you find the video useful. When you like the video, other people watching, other people in YouTube might as well get to see this video. Okay, so at number 5, guys, is what we call the battery degradation. So what is battery degradation? So this is when the battery has been used over time and kind of the battery retire, or the battery probably is not usable anymore. So I've seen this happens many times, and I've seen many people call me to ask how they can fix this, because somebody has used a battery for, let's say, like 15 years, somebody has used a battery for 12 years, and then the battery is not delivering as it was doing before. Okay, so when this happens, what you need to understand is that the batteries are not meant to work forever. The batteries are meant to work for some time, after which they need to be replaced. So when the battery has been used over time, it reaches a point they are now not able to deliver the power as expected. And when that happens, the solution is to buy new battery and replace the old one. Okay, I've also seen some people, when the battery has degraded, they consider buying another battery to be able now to boost the battery that is almost dead. This is not right, because when you buy a new battery and connect together with an old battery, the old battery will pull down the new battery, such that if the new battery, let's say, is 100 Ah, probably it will be working as a 50 Ah battery, because the old battery is pulling it down. So what you need to do is, if the batteries have degraded because you've used them over time, 10 years, that's good enough. It has served you good enough. Just buy new batteries. And if you want to add batteries because you want to generate more power, please consider doing that while the system is still new, probably 1 year. That battery is still good enough. You can add another battery and they would work alongside very, very well. So thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Keep it here for more videos that would enlighten you and that would equip you with the right information, even as you plan to install solar or have solar system in your home, in your business, or wherever. Thank you very much for watching. See you in another video.